Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad. Today coming to you once again from the Senior Botanical Garden in Kernersville. We'll tell you more about them later on, and later on is when the roundtable shows up and we'll get into Lord knows what kind of controversies with them, so stay tuned for that. Lots in store for you over the next half hour. Where we want to start is talking about a very special and important association and two local community servants who know all about that association. And we're with, of course, my good buddies, David Daggett and Griff Shuler from Daggett, Shuler Law. Good to see you guys.
Hey, Jim. Thanks, Jim.
The association I'm referring to is the Down Syndrome Association, which you guys have been involved in. So very quickly, let's look back to this past weekend, David. There was a special event going on. What was that?
It was the 26th annual Buddy Walk in the greater Winston-Salem area. It was held out at West Forsyth High School. And the Buddy Walk is a day to celebrate people with Down syndrome. It's also one of their larger fundraising events of the year.
Right.
Had over 1,000 people out, and it was really, really a fun day. The interesting thing to me, and what's probably the most meaningful to me, is one of the pillars of the Down Syndrome Association is the idea of acceptance and inclusion. And I always think the Down syndrome folks are a lesson to us. They're very non-judgmental. They love everybody. They accept us and include us regardless of our race, our color, our gender, or anything else. What a beautiful message for society.
Absolutely. And there were a lot of activities going on. Didn't you email me something about a mosaic?
Oh, this was really neat. And I think you might have a photo of it. Is we had a guy named Nick Bradley made a mosaic out of Rubik's Cubes. And he built that as the day went along. And it ended up being two of our Down syndrome young people, Ella and Isabella, in the picture with the Rubik's Cube. One of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And it unfolded before our eyes as the morning progressed.
I think that's great. Griff, let's just pause for a second and just remind people very briefly what the Down Syndrome Association does in general and for parents of Down's kids.
Well, it's a very supportive group, and that's really one of the first hallmarks of the group is providing support for the parents. In addition to that is the ability for them to come together for events, which raises public awareness.
Right.
And there's educational opportunities for the families. And then I think a part that most people may not know about is really focused on providing employment opportunities for those in the community that have Down syndrome. And that's a wonderful part of the association.
You know, since Griff mentioned it, that reminds me, David, I think it was Catherine sent me an email the other day about a pop-up restaurant.
Right. So this is kind of a cool thing that the Down Syndrome Association does. They have what they call pop-up restaurants. And what that basically is individuals with Down syndrome work for an evening in a restaurant with a server, a greeter, that sort of thing. This was started before COVID, and it's starting back up for the first time since COVID, and it's to expose both the person with Down syndrome to the work opportunities, expose the public to the people with Down syndrome, and potentially lead to some jobs that are available at the various establishments. It's a real cool thing.
Yeah, and we have about a minute left. I'm going to ask both of you to respond to this. So many things you guys are involved with, so many community projects, you know, school backpacks and Safe Sober and everything. Why support Down Syndrome Association?
I think one of the things is they are so committed as a group, and they're so tight-knit, and they have so many great causes throughout the entire year. I think a lot of groups that David and I are involved with, they may only have one event for a group, but part of what they do is they have events throughout the year that brings the families together and invites the better group of the community to come together as well.
Right, David.
Well, I had a cousin with Down syndrome who I've always said she was my favorite cousin. Apologize to all my other cousins, but it has always been very, very meaningful to me, and working with the Down syndrome community, it kind of fills my soul in a way that nothing else does, and I love it.
I bet. Thanks for sharing that. Up on screen, dsaws.org is how you get to learn more about Down Syndrome Association, and you can always get in touch with these gentlemen if you should need them. Daggett@ShulerLaw.com or call 724-1234. Guys, I appreciate all you do for the community, and And Dave, you're going to stay for the roundtable, right?
Sure,
All
sure.
right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
We'll be right back after this.